Hey everyone, and welcome to Learn Conversational English. I'm Jin-ah.
And I'm Moe. We're your hosts, and we both live here in New York City.
That's right. This podcast is designed especially for English language learners who want to improve their conversational skills by listening to real, everyday conversations between native speakers.
Exactly. Today we're talking about something we both deal with every single day, getting around New York City, and we'll be focusing on prepositions of place and movement.
So listeners, pay attention to how we use words like on, in, at, through, from, to, under, and over when we talk about transportation and locations. These little words are super important in English.
Right. And don't worry about understanding everything perfectly. Just listen to the natural flow of our conversation. You'll start picking up these patterns naturally. Ready, Jin-ah?
Let's do it. So Mo, how do you usually get to work in the morning?
Oh man, it's quite a journey. I live in Brooklyn, so I have to take the subway from my neighborhood all the way to Manhattan. First, I walk to the subway station at the corner of Atlantic and 4th Avenue.
Right at the corner.
Then I go down the stairs, tap my MetroCard, and get on the R train. I stay on that train for about 25 minutes until I reach Union Square in Manhattan.
Okay.
At Union Square, I transfer to the 6th train, and then I ride that up to 51st Street. My office is right across from the subway exit, so I just walk across the street and I'm there.
That's convenient. At least you don't have to walk far once you get off the train.
Yeah, exactly. What about you? How do you get around the city?
Well, I'm lucky because I live in Queens and I work from home most days. But when I do need to go into Manhattan, I usually take the 7 train from my station in Flushing. It's actually really interesting because the train goes through so many diverse neighborhoods.
Oh, the 7 train. That's like the International Express, right?
Yes, exactly. You can hear so many different languages on that train. Sometimes I get off at different stops just to explore. Like I'll get off at Elmhurst and walk along Northern Boulevard where there are all these Korean and Thai restaurants.
That's so cool.
It reminds me a little of home, you know? My family moved here from Seoul when I was young, and my grandmother used to take me to these little Korean markets in Koreatown in Manhattan. Now I can find similar places right here in Queens, much closer to home.
That's beautiful. I have a similar experience with the Middle Eastern neighborhoods here. There's this amazing area in Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, where you can find authentic Arabic food and shops.
Really? How do you get there?
Yeah, I go there on weekends sometimes. I take the R train from my station and I get off at Bay Ridge Avenue. Then I walk along 5th Avenue. There are so many Lebanese and Syrian restaurants there. It makes me think of the stories my father used to tell me about Damascus.
That sounds amazing. Do you ever take the bus instead of the subway?
Sometimes, yeah. If I'm going somewhere in Brooklyn that's not directly on a subway line, I'll take a bus. Like, if I want to go to the beach at Coney Island, I might take the subway to a certain point and then get on the B36 bus to get closer to the water.
Right.
But the thing about buses is that they can get stuck in traffic, especially when you're going over a bridge or through a tunnel. I remember one time I was on a bus going over the Manhattan Bridge, and we were stuck there for like 40 minutes.
Oh no, over the Manhattan Bridge. That must have been frustrating.
It was. I was sitting in the back of the bus, looking down at all the cars moving slowly on the FDR Drive below us. It was actually kind of beautiful, but also super frustrating because I was already late for a family dinner.
Yeah, that's why I try to avoid buses during rush hour if I can help it. What about taxis or rideshares? Do you ever use those?
Definitely. If I'm coming home late at night from Manhattan, I'll usually call an Uber or get in a yellow cab. It's more expensive than the subway, but it's safer and more comfortable, especially late at night.
Totally.
Plus, You don't have to worry about train delays or standing on the platform for 15 minutes in the cold. You just get in the car and relax.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on train delays. Last week, I was waiting on the platform at Times Square for 25 minutes because there was some kind of signal problem up ahead.
Times Square is the worst for that stuff.
And it was so crowded. I was squeezed between all these people, and the announcements kept saying, "We apologize for the delay," but they never said when the train would actually arrive. Honestly, public transit is a nightmare sometimes.
Right, exactly. But what choice do we have, right? I mean, driving in Manhattan is even worse. Have you ever tried to park a car in Midtown?
Once and never again. I spent 40 minutes driving around in circles looking for a parking spot. I went up and down every street between 42nd and 50th, and there was literally nothing available.
Yeah, and the parking garages charge like $30 or $40 a day.
It's insane. Finally, I just parked in a garage near Penn Station and took the subway the rest of the way. It would have been cheaper and faster to take the train from the beginning.
Definitely. But you know what? Despite all the complaints we have, I actually kind of love the subway system here.
Really? Tell me more about that.
I mean, think about it. You can travel from the Bronx to Brooklyn or from Queens to Manhattan, all for the same fare. You can go under rivers, through tunnels, over bridges. It's like this amazing underground network that connects the whole city.
That's true, under rivers.
And it runs 24 hours a day. In most cities around the world, the trains stop running at midnight or 1 a.m. Here, you can get on a train at 3 in the morning if you need to.
You're absolutely right. And you meet such interesting people on the subway. I've had some amazing conversations with strangers while waiting at stations or sitting on long rides between boroughs.
Oh, totally. There's so much life and energy down there.
Plus, the street musicians. Some of them are incredibly talented. I love walking through the tunnels at Union Square and hearing different music coming from different directions. You might hear jazz coming from one tunnel and classical music coming from another.
Yes, and there's always something different happening above ground too. Like when you come up from the subway at different stops, you're in completely different neighborhoods with totally different vibes.
Exactly. You could get off at 14th Street and walk through Greenwich Village with all its little cafes and bookshops, or get off at 125th Street and be right in the heart of Harlem with completely different architecture and culture.
Right. Each neighborhood has its own personality. Do you have a favorite subway line or station?
That's a tough question. I really love the 7 train because it's my neighborhood line, but I also really love Grand Central Station, not just as a transit hub, but as a destination in itself.
Oh, Grand Central is gorgeous.
The architecture is incredible. Sometimes I go there just to sit in the main concourse and watch people rushing to catch their trains. And there's amazing food in the basement level. You can get everything from fresh oysters to Korean BBQ down there.
That's so true. I really like the F train because it goes through so many different neighborhoods, from Brooklyn under the East River up through Manhattan and then into Queens. You get this whole cross-section of the city on one ride.
Nice choice. And speaking of crossing the city, have you ever walked across any of the bridges?
Oh yeah, I love walking across the Brooklyn Bridge on weekends. You get this amazing view of the city skyline, and you can see all the way down to the Statue of Liberty on clear days.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, and it's free. Instead of paying for a train or taxi to get from Brooklyn to Manhattan, you can just walk across for free and get some exercise at the same time.
I should try that sometime. I usually just stay on the train when it goes over the bridge, but walking would be much more scenic.
You should. Just don't go on a busy weekend afternoon. It gets pretty crowded with tourists. Early morning or late afternoon is perfect.
Good tip. You know, Transportation in New York really isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's part of the whole experience of living here.
Absolutely. Whether you're riding through a tunnel under the river, waiting at a platform next to interesting people, or walking along the street, discovering new neighborhoods, it's all part of what makes this city special.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap up our conversation about getting around New York City.
I hope our listeners picked up on some useful prepositions today. Things like on the train, at the station, through the tunnel, from Brooklyn to Manhattan, under the river, over the bridge.
Yes. And remember, the best way to learn these naturally is just to listen to how native speakers use them in context, like we did today. Don't try to memorize rules, just listen to the patterns.
Exactly. Thanks so much for listening to Learn Conversational English. We really appreciate you taking the time to practice your English with us.
Keep practicing, keep listening to real conversations, and remember, every little bit helps. We'll see you next time. Until then, happy learning, everyone.